Are the Minnesota Twins about to make one of the most shocking trades in franchise history? Carlos Correa could be on the move, and by the end of this video, we'll give you our prediction on what the Twins will do and where Correa could end up. First, let's be clear. What we're about to break down isn't just speculation. It's the logical next step for a franchise that's lost its direction. Let's not sugarcoat it. So far, the 2025 season has been a disaster in Minnesota. It's one of the worst starts in team history. The offense, missing in action, just like it was during the collapse that ended 2024. Infielders Royce Lewis and Brooks Lee began the year injured. Ace pitcher Pablo Lopez already hit the injured list. The rotation's a mess, the lineup is dead, and both Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa are injury risks every single week. The vibes this season, gone. This team is not contending, not in 2025, and maybe not in 2026 either, which leads us to a difficult truth. Carlos Correa might be the luxury this team can't afford anymore. And here's why it makes sense to trade him. Correa is owed $36 million this season, and again in each of the next 2 seasons. That's a major anchor on the payroll of a mid-market team with dwindling TV money and ownership that has a recent history of tightening the belt. But this isn't just about finances. It's about timing. Carlos Correa is still good. When healthy, he's great. But his recurring foot and ankle issues are permanent red flags. We're not talking about if he'll hit the injured list, it's when. And if that happens again this year, Minnesota loses all leverage in trade talks with other teams. Right now, there's still value. There's still some buzz. The Twins can strike before it's too late. And with Correa's ticking time bomb that we call an ankle, trading him might be the most prudent move they can make. The truth? The Twins don't need Carlos Correa to field a strong infield in 2026 and beyond. Picture this. Royce Lewis at first base. It would be less wear and tear, and theoretically, it should keep him healthy. Luke Keyshaw at second base. 2024 first-round pick Kalen Culpepper takes over at short. And Brooks Lee at third base, where his arm and instincts shine. Behind them, Willie Castro, Brandon Winokur, Kyle DeBarge, and Rendon Cone. Minnesota's infield pipeline is full. The future is young, so why cling to an aging, expensive shortstop who blocks all of that development? And here's why Correa might welcome a move. Correa's no-trade clause is not a deal-breaker. He can be traded. He just has to approve it. Would he say yes? Honestly, why wouldn't he? If you're Carlos Correa and you're staring at a floundering, injury-plagued roster in Minneapolis, one that even Correa himself described this past offseason as a shit show during their collapse in 2024, wouldn't you rather be playing meaningful October baseball? He's won before, he's been to the mountaintop, he wants to win, and you don't do that in a soft rebuild in Minnesota, not when contenders are calling. Correa signed with the Twins under the belief that they'd be competing. That's simply no longer as realistic as it once seemed. As the Twins fall further behind their competition in just the AL Central, never mind the American League as a whole, it becomes more and more clear that Carlos Correa and the Minnesota Twins will both become more interested in exploring a trade. As for who needs Carlos Correa, let's play matchmaker. The Yankees need a third baseman, badly. The Braves desperately need a shortstop. The Dodgers could plug him in at third base and push for another ring. The Mets? Pair him with Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto, and Correa will instantly give that fan base a reason to believe again. The Mariners, Angels, Blue Jays, and even the Tigers all have gaps on the left side of their infield. With any of these teams, the Twins would be in position to land a serious package of prospects or major league ready talent. We're talking about flipping one elite piece into 4 or 5 building blocks. Smart teams do that when the writing is on the wall. The Twins simply can't afford to take the risk. And if the Twins do wait, they risk getting nothing. If Correa gets hurt, if the Twins sink even further, or if other teams move on, Correa's trade value could crater. And then, Minnesota's stuck. Again, paying a superstar's salary for a team going nowhere. The best time to trade Carlos Correa was last winter. The second best time, right now. So, will the Twins actually pull the trigger with Carlos Correa? Here's our prediction. Yes, the Twins will trade Carlos Correa. If not by the deadline, then during the upcoming offseason, because the signs are all there. A failing team, a deep infield, a bloated contract, and contenders lining up for talent. The Twins are simply too risk-averse and too strapped to ignore what's obvious. Moving Carlos Correa has the makings of a legacy trade from Minnesota, and it might just be the move that finally brings long-term stability back to the franchise. Now it's your turn. Should the Twins trade Carlos Correa? And if so, where would you like to see him go? And what type of return should the Twins be asking for? Drop your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And there you have it, you've made it to the end of this episode, and we really appreciate that. Hit the like button down below, then take just 1 second of your time and make sure down below that you are subscribed to this channel. We ask that you do, because that guarantees that we definitely get to see you back here next time. Thanks for watching.